His first flight. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run toward the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down.
In this lesson, the young seagull sat alone on the high rock. His brothers and sisters had flown already a day before. He wanted to fly, but was too scared. When he tried, he looked down at the deep sea below and got frightened. He thought he would fail.
He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate.
The seagull believed his wings were too weak, so he ran back to his place under the rock to sleep. Even though his younger siblings flew off easily, he didn't have the courage. Flying felt dangerous to him. He felt so.
His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly, upbraiding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for the life of him, he could not move. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him.
His parents flew near him, shouted at him, and warned him that they wouldn't give food unless he fly. Still, he was too afraid to move. That happened a whole day ago. Since then, no one come to help him and to see him also.
The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock, while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle.
The day before, he watched his parents teach his siblings how to fly and how to catch fish. He even saw his older brother catch a fish and eat, while their parents proudly cheered.
And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall.
That morning, his family was on flat rock on another cliff. They teased him for being scared. They teased. The sun was rising and the rock was getting hot. He was feeling hungry because he hadn't eaten since last night.
He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg, with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. Still, they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. His father was preening the feathers on his white back.
He slowly walked to the edge of the rock, stood on one leg, and closed his eyes, pretending to sleep. No one looked at him. His siblings were resting, and his father was cleaning his feathers.
Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it.
His mother, only his mother was standing on higher rock. She was eating a fish and rubbing her beak on the rock. Watching her eat made him very hungry. He remembered how much he loved eating like that.
Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. Gokola, she screamed back derisively. But he kept calling plaintively, and after a minute or so he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across.
Ga, 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 he cried, begging her. He cried out, begging his mother to bring some food. She made fun of him, but he kept calling sadly. Then he became happy because she picked up a piece of fish and started flying towards him. When his mother coming towards him, he got excited and tried to move closer.
But when she was just opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still.
When his mother reached near him, he stopped and held the fish just out of his reach. Surprised, he waited. Then, very hungry and desperate, he jumped toward the fish. Suddenly, he fell off the cliff into the air. At first, he was terrified, but soon he felt the wind under his wings.
He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once, and he soared upward.
He realized he wasn't falling anymore. He was flying. He flapped his wings and felt himself going higher. He wasn't afraid now. He wasn't afraid anymore. Only a little dizzy.
Ga, 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 Gokola. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly.
His mother flew past him making loud sounds. He answered her with a scream. His father, brothers and sister also flew around him, making different flying moves. He joined him happily, forgetting he was ever afraid.
He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings.
Now he was flying over the big green sea. He looked down and saw the waves. He turned his head and made happy sounds. His family landed on the sea and called to him. He tried to land too, but got scared when his feet sank in the water. He was too tired and hungry to fly again.
But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. Exhausted by the strange exercise, his feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. He was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight.
His body sank into the water, but he didn't go under. He was floating. His family flew around him, cheering and feeding him pieces of fish. He had finally made his first flight. That is his first flight.